I always try to keep things into perspective. Now, what doesn't make any sense to me is that if somebody has posters, pictures, phone backgrounds of a grown man that chases other grown men down a field, trying to stop them from moving a pigskin down the field, they are considered normal, acceptable, a normal occupant of society. If someone has hero worship for an individual that plays pretend for a living on movie and TV screens, they are accepted by societal standards. But if someone has a poster or admiration for an individual like Alexander Hamilton, who is the father of the modern U.S. economic system that has built the most wealth in human history, then they are considered abnormal. They are considered old-fashioned. They are considered nerdy. They are the ones who are considered dogmatic, problematic, not to societal norms. And that's because the societal paradigm is twisted. I'm not blaming these celebrities personally for their behaviors. And what I mean is that they are megalomaniacs. But think about it. If you were someone like Kim Kardashian, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, when you went to a public space, whether it is a restaurant, sporting event, park, shopping mall, wherever, where people are literally screaming your name, fighting one another to get just a whiff of your essence, shooting photographs through their smartphones just to get pictures of you passing by, you yourself would develop an ego that is larger than the Grand Canyon, deeper than the Marianas Trench. So I'm not blaming these celebrities for having that sort of mindset. If I was in that position, I too would have a similar egomaniacal response, because we as humans simply respond to the stimuli in our environment. But that's because the societal paradigm for most people puts celebrities at the top. They worship them as idols. They worship them and make them above them. And then you get celebrities on TV who think just because they are good at athletics or music, acting, then their opinion about politics, their opinion about societal issues and scientific issues that they have little to no knowledge about, because they've not done the proper research. They've not educated their minds. And I'm not saying a 4-year degree. I'm not saying taking a course. Simply taking the time, doing the due diligence to research the topic so you can have an informed opinion about it. They don't do that. And then they go on TV, they say stupid shit, and then their sycophants who are fans of them feel the need to defend them simply because they are a fan. I'm not a fan of anybody. A grown man should not be a fan of another man or woman. A grown man should be a fan of himself and God Almighty. And that's it. But in response to my observation, I created my own personal societal paradigm of how I think the normal average human should view society through this particular lens, just to put it into perspective. So I will show you my societal paradigm, and then I will elaborate on why I came to the conclusions that I came to. Let me start here with the very bottom. So for my societal paradigm at the bottom, I got bankers and some CEOs. Now let me elaborate. Our entire system is a debt-based system. The bankers print money out of thin air. They loan it to you at interest, and then you work your entire life, sometimes spending your entire paycheck. And think about it. If you want to make money, what do you have to do? You have to provide a good or a service, something of value to society. But bankers don't have to do that. They can simply print money out of thin air, and now more or less it's more it's more just numbers on a machine computer, because banking is becoming a lot more digital. But basically, they can just print it out of thin air, loan it to you at interest, and then you spend your entire life, in some cases, paying off a house, a car, bills, simply because you had to borrow money that was printed out of thin air. Over here, some CEOs, and what I mean by this is, not every CEO of a mega corporation is bad. But there are some that are actively screwing you over every day, but you don't notice it. The first would be Walmart, Doug McMillon. Now, the reason I hate Walmart is because they treat their workers like crap. They don't give them enough money to live, and as a result, they have to take government benefits. And you know who pays for food stamps? You and me, the taxpayer of America. And then they go back to Walmart because they give them an employee discount, and they spend that money. So we're subsidizing Walmart giving their workers ship wages. Excuse me. And at the same time, they are the biggest importer from China. So think about this. There was a New York Times article I was reading today. They estimated in their economics editorial that Walmart has displaced over 40 million jobs. And these jobs were good paying manufacturing jobs. Back in the 50s and 60s, the United States, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, had manufacturing at over 50% of its workforce. But now it's just around 13.2%. It's went a little bit up since Trump has gotten into office and has had some pro-manufacturer policies. But it's still not reached the same level as it has in the past. But those jobs used to be good jobs. You could work at GM, Ford, you could work for these factories. 5 days a week, you could get paid a good wage, enough to have a family, a house, a car, go on vacation. That was the American dream, right? Well, now that Walmart is displacing those jobs, importing things from China, those jobs no longer exist. Your local stores have ceased to exist. And yesterday there was a parade of the communist Chinese government where they were pimping out these missiles that they had. The same missiles that the United States now have had. And now Lockheed Martin is frantically building these missiles. But basically, I bet some of those dollars that Walmart used to import this cheap Chinese shit went towards the missiles. And these missiles can hit anywhere in the United States in the matter of 2 minutes. So thank you, Walmart. Thank you, Doug McMillon. And also these CEOs of these big media conglomerates like CNN. Well, AT&T owns CNN, Comcast. But these large media conglomerates are creating division in the country through the news media. They are actively trying to provoke a civil war between the factions. They are making movies about it, bragging about it. So a faction of CEOs and bankers are really screwing over society, the common man, and people don't even know it. And so the next lowest would be celebrities, the news media members, and the politicians. Now, the real power is held by the people who control the money supply, because they can buy off the celebrities, the news media members, and the politicians. They are simply a front to protect the people at the top, right? So the way I came to this conclusion is these celebrities, they play pretend for a living, right? And then they want to lecture us about who we should vote for, about how we should live our lives, and so on and so forth. So let me give you one example. There are numerous. And if I were to give you all of the examples that I currently have ingrained in my memory, it would be a couple hours. Now, there is a particular celebrity. Her name is Emily Ratajkowski or something like that. I don't even know. But she posted on Twitter that she loved this movie, Hustle, I think it was called. I don't follow this shit. It just appeared on my Twitter timeline because it exposes white capitalism. Basically, that capitalism was sexist and racist. So I looked up her net worth and it was $6 million. So you have a person who's worth $6 million. And what gave her the ability to generate that revenue was the capitalistic system itself. So I simply responded, I said, if you hate capitalism so bad, the institution that allowed you to generate $6 million, why not donate that $6 million to people who are non-white and who are not men? And then I further responded, I said, based upon every metric, life expectancy, goods that are owned, monetary wealth, capitalism has given everyone, even non-white people, even women, regardless of genitalia, race, social hierarchy, regardless of sexual orientation, it has given them more wealth than ever before. Why is it that individuals from Mexico and Guatemala take the risk of getting shot at, getting sex trafficked, getting detained to come to a country that is run by evil white capitalists where only white men can get ahead? And by the way, the richest people in the United States are Indian. People that are ethnically Indian and Asians. So even in this evil white capitalist system, Indians and Asians are at the top. See, she honestly thinks because she is a model, an actress, and whatever the else she does, I don't even know. I didn't think she was too interesting. That her opinion matters, even though what she said was stupid as shit. But see, a normal person like you or me, we wouldn't think that way because we don't think that our opinion matters. See, I think my opinion matters when I do the necessary due diligence to do some research. But egomaniacs like her don't know what the hell they're talking about. So the news media members, they create fake stories to get us into wars. Look up William Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer, who the Pulitzer Prize is named after. But they lied about the sinking of the USS Maine that propagated us into the Spanish-American War. They lied about the Lusitania. They lied about the Gulf of Tonkin. They lied about WMDs, baby and incubators. So they start fake wars, beating the war drums. They cause division in our country. They compare Trump supporters to brown shirts. They promote division. So the news media members are simply puppets of the system. But they are willing to go along with that system for fame, for self-promotion, and to lecture us. So authority, the illusion of authority. Then you have politicians, and that should be self-explanatory of why I hate politicians. I think all of us do. They take money from the donors, lobbyists, special interest. They don't care about the people. Think about it. Our infrastructure has not been rebuilt since 1950. Yet anytime there's some country on the map that we can't even name, we go bomb the shit out of it, spending billions of dollars. So these politicians are scum. I think you know that. And then I got drug dealers, prostitutes, and pimps. Now, why would I have drug dealers, prostitutes, and pimps higher on my societal paradigm than I have